First of all, I'd like to add my voice to the chorus of voices which has welcomed you to the university and to the start of your first year. I hope that you will enjoy your time with us at UWS and that when you leave, you will leave with a good quality degree, a clear idea of what you want to do with it, and a retrospective view which is full of good things, fun in a proper sense, not least among them. Last year, outside Cafe Central, with which I'm sorry to tell you, you will become well and truly acquainted while you're at the university, drinking what passes for coffee and eating what passes for food. They had a sign which was advertising some function or other, and it said, "Play hard, party harder." And that's good advice as long as you remember that it's incomplete and that what you need to add is, but study always first and hardest. All right. The answer to the question, what am I to do with my law degree, is to be answered simply at the outset by saying it depends. It depends upon what choices you make among a successive number of choices that you will have to make. The first choice that you will have to make is this: do I want to engage in any kind of actual legal professional practice at all? The answer to that question, as you already have divined from what my colleagues have said, is not by any means a simple yes or a simple no. It is something to be thought about with some discernment. A law degree opens up for you all kinds of possibilities of which actual legal professional practice is only one. For example, in addition, I might take a moment to say to actually teaching the law, there are other options. One, which is understandably glamorous, although not very easy to follow, is a career in the diplomatic service, for example, where a top quality honours degree in law, although not the only way of qualifying, is certainly a useful qualification. You understand, of course, that cadetships in the diplomatic service are few in number, fiercely competed for, and very difficult to obtain. But just in principle, that's another kind of thing that you could think of as an alternative to actual legal professional practice. A third simple example is work in commerce and in industry at various levels of management. A good quality legal degree won't itself do it for you, but certainly it is one of the keys that would open up for you if that's what you wanted to do. If you have any common sense at all, you answer the question by taking advice about what you are thinking of doing and taking as wide a spectrum of advice as you can do from people who are competent to talk to you about the matter. A decision you will find will crystallise, not in a sudden blinding flash of enlightenment, but it will crystallise as something which is good for you. And that's a combination of what's up here, what you've been taught and told, and the advice that you've taken and the thinking that you've done, much more importantly, what's inside here, in a way that really can't be reduced to words. Having decided that you do want to engage in some form of actual legal professional practice, you have another choice to make. That is to say, do you want to engage in private legal professional practice, or do you want to engage in some form of what I will call, as a matter of shorthand, public legal professional practice? Mr. Adjunct has given us an excellent example, may I say, of public legal professional practice. She, like Mr. Uru, would not have felt comfortable to say what I would presume to say by way of supplement to her comments, which is this. Up alongside the legal aid people, I would myself put the young solicitors, generally they are young, who work for the Aboriginal Legal Service. As a judge, I had many occasions to deal with people from both of those services, especially in applications for bail, that is to say, applications made by a person who is in present custody awaiting trial for liberty on some conditional basis, properly conditioned basis, pending trial. In a normal day in the Supreme Court, at any rate, the bails judge is likely to find himself with 20 or so applications of that character, so a great deal turns upon the professional competence and skill, not to say integrity and reliability, of the people who are appearing before you. Without that assistance, you can't hope to get through the list at all, never mind get through it on a basis that's just to the people concerned. And I would want to say, and I'm glad to say it in Ms. Taraji's presence, and I hope that she won't mind my saying it and will feel free to report it in the appropriate court, is in all my years as a judge, I was never once let down by anybody appearing for the legal aid people or for the Aboriginal Legal Service. In my view, they are among the unsung heroes of legal professional practice. The system, as it operates at the moment, where no matter what anybody says about equality, is not equal in the sense that some people can afford the best representation and some can't afford any at all, simply would collapse. Certainly would not yield just results across the board if it were not for the willing participation of people in the Aboriginal Legal Service and the Legal Aid Commission and its various branches. As a member of the Legal Aid Commission team, as a member of the ALS, in the Office of the Solicitor for Public Prosecutions, in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, or in the Crown Prosecuting Service. They are all very important public services. Let us suppose, however, that the lure of fame and wealth have overcome your other elements of judgment, and you've decided that you want to engage in private professional practice. Again, you have a choice. You have to decide whether you want to be a solicitor or whether you want to be a barrister. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My father did not earn 7 figures a year as Sydney's leading heart transplant surgeon. My mother was not a 6-figure a year, snazzily dressed senior partner in one of the large mega firms. I did not go to expensive private schools which cost the earth. I built the career that I'm going to describe to you, and although in a sense that would be true, it would only be half true, because the career that I made, I built not in a vacuum. I built upon the foundations of backbreaking sacrifice made by my parents in order that I might have my chance in life, and upon the sacrifice and the 110% dedication of the Sisters of St. Joseph, who taught me at North Sydney from the time I was 4 until the time I was 12, and the Morris brothers, who taught me at Mosman from the time I was 12 until the time I was 17 and went to the university. I was the first member of my family to finish high school at all, and certainly the first member to go to the university. And once again, in those days, this is more shocking to the roots of your being, but in those days, everybody paid fees at the university. There were Commonwealth scholarships, anonymous public examinations, and if you wanted to go to the university, that was fine. If you couldn't pay for it, you must have your chance. Your chance would be to win the scholarship. So, off I went to the university. In those days, if you wanted to be a solicitor, not if you wanted to go straight to the bar, but certainly if you wanted to be a solicitor, you had to be an article clerk. Put very simply, that meant you had to be an apprentice. And you were apprenticed to a solicitor, your master solicitor, who was responsible to the Law Society and ultimately to the Supreme Court for seeing that you got the practical training that you needed.